Hello, everybody. You're watching Average Hobby, and my name is Rob. And today I wanted to talk about one big thing that Games Workshop / Citadel Games, we'll just call, we'll just say Games Workshop, sorry, can do to completely shake up everything. Something that will increase the revenue streams for the company, open up a new revenue stream, and will cut costs theoretically across the board for the company. What am I talking about? Selling STLs. So currently, we buy the model, we bring the model home from the store, or we get it sent to our homes. We put the model together with our glues and paints and all that stuff, and we play the game. Well, there is a large community out there that have 3D printers that, instead of buying the stuff, will buy a third party. We'll say I think this is a Primaris Intercessor Squad. Would buy the models for these things online through a third party for a fraction of the price. Right now, I believe. One second, because I didn't. There's $75 for the lot of them. Okay. Well, what if instead Games Workshop turned around and said, okay, here's the deal. We're going to sell the STLs, but the STL has a built-in usage. I won't say a specific number, but we'll say, hey, so for $10, you get the Primaris Intercessors, the STLs, for them like completely all exploded into all their little bits, for $10. You get access to that STL for a limited time, print as many as many models as you want within that time frame, and then down the road, if you want more models or we update the models, pay another $10, and boom, you get a whole bunch for 30, 60, 90 days or whatever. There you go. What you could also do is sell a monthly subscription to Games Workshop at that point, where it's like, hey, you pay X dollars amount per month, and you can print whatever you want, however you want, as much as you want, for $20 a month, $30 a month, $40 a month. I would say probably to run a good number would be $20 a month. Now, Canadian, so you'd have to make the change yourself there. But $20 a month to Games Workshop, you get to print as many models as you want, and any model that you want. Now, theoretically, you could do different stages. So be like, hey, so for $10 a month, you can join the Space Marines, which goes with my other ideas about having, a reward system, where you get to pick an army and you earn reward points and you get free stuff from that army and things like that. Well, here you could do the same thing where it's like, hey, so you join the Space Marines, or that was the faction you chose when setting up your account. So when you pay your $10 every month, you get whatever model you want this month to print as much as you want. So you pick the one model, so you log into the website the first of the month, or even on the 30th or 31st or 28th, basically the last day of the previous month, and it's like, hey, what model do you want to use next month? And you pick the model, and boom, there you go. You have an unlimited access to that model for that time frame. I think that'd be a good idea. Now, you bring in the revenue stream of the X dollars per month as a subscription, so games as a service. You also have it where people can do one-off purchases. You also have the ability of people buying still the models and all that stuff. And when it comes down to it, the company will save money. There will not be as much inventory. There will not be as much overhead for the company. And to be honest, that means they could maybe not raise the prices all that much. So, for example, on the right here, I have how much money the company spent in 2022 on a few things. So here they spent £1.3 million on shop fits for new and existing stores, meaning, fixing up stores. They spent $10.1 million or million pounds on production equipment and tooling equipment. So think about the fact that, say that's 10% of their overall tooling and equipment for producing said, the injection molders basically, and the boxing equipment and things like that. Yeah. If you think about that, say we could, they could reduce that easily by 25%. So say right now, if they were to replace everything all at once, it would cost them $100 million. Well, if you reduce that immediately by 25%, because now people are printing their own STLs, so your machines are lasting longer because you're not printing as much stuff, or you're not, inject and molding your own stuff all that much. So you put that money theoretically towards other things. So, even if you don't, want to change your prices, you can always be like, okay, well, we still have that money coming in. Let's put it towards making new models. Let's look towards maybe making, something else. Another game, maybe. Who knows? We'll ignore how much money they spend on the computer equipment, software, and the website. But yeah, the main thing here was the production equipment and tooling. £10.1 million last year. I'm assuming that's, fixing, repairing, and all that stuff. Now, when we look at their next thing here's actually a very important thing. So this is their overall inventory. So right now they have £1.4 million worth, basically, of plastic, because it says raw materials, and obviously like paints and stuff like that, but probably mostly plastic, sitting, waiting to be turned into models. Very interesting. They could cut that probably drastically. So we'll say, once again, maybe by 25%. So maybe now no longer being £1.4 million, but now £750,000. Big change there, right? Work in progress. I'm assuming that's current models being made and not packaged yet. That's £1.9 million. Think about how much money they would save there, because, yet again, people are printing their own STLs. And you're basically just printing money at that point instead of printing models, because people are paying a monthly fee or a one-time off fee. And then here we go. Finished goods and goods for resale. £35.1 million. This is just paints, tools, models sitting in a warehouse waiting to be bought. £35.1 million of models just sitting there. They can run through that pretty quickly, reduce the amount that they have, which then in turn reduces your overhead for all your warehouses and things like that. It'd be a very, very good idea. And the reason why is because currently their leasing, when it comes out to the overall leasing, they're paying, £48.9 million in leasing. Now that's leasing buildings, that's leasing property that a building may be on, and that's leasing equipment, so tool and die stuff. This is all from the 2022 stock report, or stockholders report, so you can get this all online and read it through yourself. But yeah, so that would drastically reduce this, because you wouldn't have as much storage, meaning you wouldn't need as much space, meaning you could reduce your footprint, meaning you save money. But in the end, you're not really saving money because you're using that money on other things. So you're more putting money into different things like more games, more models. I think it's a good idea. I think that they should start selling the STLs. Like I said, two different ways. A limited time thing where it's like, hey, you buy the STL, you have 30 days to print as much as you want. After 30 days, boom, it's no longer feasible to use that STL. Or the other one is monthly. You pay a monthly fee, and you get access to whatever army of your choice. And then, if you want to be able to access 2 full armies, you change the price. Like I said, probably for me, a subscription service would probably have to be around $20. So say it's like $20 a month. You get access to all the STLs for Space Marines. And there you go. You can print as many as you want, as often as you want. There you go. The best thing they would do at that point, too, is also be like, hey, these are the 3D printers we actually can work with, which also means they could partner with 3D printers and be like, or 3D printing companies and be like, hey, do you want to be the official Citadel 3D printer? Oh, do you want to be the official Citadel resin or whatever plastics you're using? Do you want to be the official insert name of tool that you're going to need? Resin scraper for some of the printers. Isopropyl alcohol for cleaning. It's the Citadel isopropyl cleaning. It opens up a massive revenue stream that I think they would probably exploit very well because they're very good at that. And I think, to be honest with you, that's something they need to do to grow as a business, because the current model right now is not in tune with the current world. The current world right now is moving more digitally, and more of I want to be able to hit a couple buttons and have it right now, versus I want to hit a couple buttons and wait 3 to 6 weeks. Or 10 days, 20 days. I have to go drive and go get somewhere. It'd be easier if I can go in the Games Workshop, hit a button and say, hey, I want to buy the Primaris Intercessors. Instead of buying a quantity of one, I actually want to click this and say, I want the STL. It says, okay, the STL for the Primaris Intercessors, if you want just these guys for the next 30 days, it's $15. And there you go. The only concern at that point is people mass printing and then selling the models online. That is the only thing. Then I guess you can say the third party of being able to buy and sell armies at that point will just be destroyed by 3D printers. So like the used market will be destroyed by all of it. So I don't know how you could regulate or try to figure out something like that. Maybe start using, because I know recycling is starting to become a big deal about their plastics. I'm wondering if maybe no, because they already accept the sprues in the stores. It gets kind of when it's like, hey, I'm no longer using these Primaris Intercessors because they're not in the game anymore or whatever. So here, Game Workshop, recycle these. It's like, well, are they going to recycle them, or are they just going to soak them in some chemicals, strip them down, and sell them as used? Then it's like, do we start getting into a electronics boutique, GameStop situation where your $75 Primaris Intercessors, you can take them into a store and they'll buy them back for you for $4? Like, that starts getting kind of sketchy. I think initially it would destroy the third party used market. eBay would just be flooded with stuff. But then again, at the same time, with everything being flooded, if it occurs, it'll be easier to get into it. It'll be easier to get into the hobby, where instead of being going to Games Workshop and buying a $75 pair set of Primaris Intercessors, I can go on eBay and buy someone's STL printed Primaris Intercessors that are $5. That market might be a little kind of Wild West for a little while. What I think they should do is something that Lego did, which is there is a website specifically for used Lego called Bricklink. It's actually bought now and owned by Lego, and what it's meant to do is be basically a third party for used Lego. And I think what they need to do is they need to set up some sort of online system like Bricklink where people can set up stores and sell those models, and they take a cut. So there creates another revenue stream. Be like, hey, so Games Workshop, when you sell a used model from me to my neighbor through this website, they get a cut of 5%. So basically, for every $100, they get $5, and they didn't do anything. They sold person A, the STL. Person A spent them, also bought resin from them. They bought a Citadel resin kit. They bought a Citadel printer. So that's $500-$600 right there. They then bought the model off you for a month for $10. They then print them all off, still in little pieces. and they're selling them for they're selling 100 of them for $10 a pop, and as they sell them, you get 5%. You're basically just making money at that point. I think it would be a good idea. It would be hard to get people to use it, knowing that there's that 5% usage, but to be able to be like, hey, here's the deal. Like, if you guys want to be able to use STLs and all that stuff, we're cool. We're cool with you. Going into my screensaver, we're cool with you guys, printing this stuff off and then selling them. But if you want to be able to do this, we need to be able to regulate it to make sure that, it's not crazy. So here's the deal. We're going to set up a website. It's going to be like Bricklinked, where, you are also on a score scale as well of how well you interact with people. Make sure you're obviously not ripping people off, that you're running a good, honest store, and then have a third-party used modeling service. I think it's an amazing idea. I think it's very good. I don't think they'll do it because it's a good idea. Not many people are going to watch this because I'm not that popular. Yeah. There you go. There's my ideas. I rambled for 16 minutes. Thanks for watching. Could have been watching anything else, but you watched this, so thank you very much. I'll see you next time.